next. Hi, everyone. Welcome to No Shots Fired, a podcast about video games. This is episode 12, Living an Honest Student Life. I am one of your valiant hosts, Valen, and right beside me is the other host, equally valiant, Mr. Doc.
Doc, say hello. Just living it.
And a special guest already eagerly awaiting tonight's podcast. In chat, we have Madamus. We thought he was dead.
I'm back.
He's back. He's back.
I'm back.
Somehow we can hear him in stream. Can't imagine why.
That's how present he always is in all of our thoughts.
We're actually experimenting with a brand new experimental technology that allows chat to talk directly to us if they want it hard enough. So if you're in chat and you're listening, if you strain very, very tough.
Looks like we've got MV Cost as well. So.
Oh my gosh, one of our other biggest fan. Now you guys, I guess, can fight over the.
Wait, who?
Have you ever played games with Rachel's husband, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also in chat. So you guys, have to fight over who is the biggest fan of the No Shots Fired podcast. We've got an excellent comment so far. May have to report because the stream is so fire it might hurt somebody. That's, we get that a lot actually.
Safety first, everybody.
I love pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Safety first.
All right. Anyway, back to the multitudinous topics we have for you. Episode 12, Living an Honest Student Life. We'll be talking about our recent gaming exports. We don't have any cool theme for you tonight, unless you consider everything we do to cool, which you should.
Or if you
we're going to be talking,
so we don't have to put any effort into it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Matt, Madamus, if either of you. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I got to go by your actual Twitch names. MV Cost, Madamus. If you guys have any themes for us tonight, we'd love to explore a specific gaming theme. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about recent games we've been playing. Madamus is thinking, guys. So anyway, in the meantime, we've been playing Zelda, Persona 5, Unnamed Players, Battlegrounds. And we'll be taking your questions, as always, at the end. How long has it been since we've had somebody ask a question?
Somebody ask a question? It's been 2 episodes ago when we had that glorious bout of audience participation.
Oh, yeah.
So
That was a good one.
Not too.
You're right. It hasn't been.
Despite somebody's snark I can hear in the corner.
Anyway, yeah, we'll jump right into the games we've been playing recently. We'd love to hear what games you guys have been playing too, everybody in chat. Don't answer all at once. It tends to crash the client. First off, let's just jump right back into Zelda because Doc, I think, has been probably playing the most of anyone on something. And the most I think you've been playing has been with Zelda and then now Persona 5.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear your observation.
I've been putting some serious Zelda time, and I don't want to say I've beaten it, but I did go to the castle, and I fought Ganon, and I saw the end credits. But so I'm like 60 shrines in out of 120, which are the little mini puzzle dungeons you find throughout the world. And
there are 120.
There are 120.
That's so many.
And then there's environmental puzzles in the world that give you Korok seeds to upgrade your inventory. And there are 900 of those. I'm probably not going to go for all 900. But I've got a few more of those probably to find. But
hey, I want to point out that MV Cost says he is on 69. Yeah.
It's got me beat on the shrines. But there's definitely, I want to do more of that. Explore more of that world, but I also just had to beat it so I could stop avoiding conversations about it on the internet. And I think maybe the only slight complaint I have, and no, would be that the story. I would would probably want a little bit more of kind of that classic Zelda story, I guess.
Okay.
Like, you know, the basic themes were there, but it just didn't have quite that level of kind of, I don't know, involvement about it that the, you know, previous Zelda games have. And that's you know, that's kind of a trade-off of open worlds. But maybe,
Right.
like in the next one, maybe like a little bit more about that main through line would be good. But I mean, the final dungeon, the castle was fantastic. The music, there was finally some really solid music in that area of the game, so that was great. But yeah, so that's probably the only new thought I have about it at the moment.
It is difficult. You're right. That's usually just a trade-off of open world games. So whatever the main quest line is, it's really hard to make that extremely robust. Otherwise, you know, I mean, just from a development perspective, you know, then you're writing. How do you spend time for the content you're writing?
And it
right?
kind of like having a really good story kind of means you'd kind of have to be a little bit more adamant about like maybe the order you do things or
exactly,
you know, where you're going, or that kind of goes against the you can just do whatever you want, which is, you know, that's fantastic. But yeah,
right. If you think about any game with multiple paths in it, it's hard to really write a robust story that then ignores like a huge portion of the game. Like for example, it would be impossible to write a story that was so reactive to how you tackled the world that it said like, all right, you've completed these 54 dungeons and now you're trying Ganon, and so we have to somehow work in the fact you've had these 54 specific interactions. Just from a practicality standpoint,
definitely.
But I see what you're saying. I have always liked that about the Zelda games, the depth of the story.
Yeah. But yeah, just fantastic game. But yeah, so yeah, another aspect of me wanting to kind of get a little bit more completed with that game is that Persona 5 came out this week, a game I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and I can't. It's so trying to like describe Persona 5 to people. It sounds really dumb, but I just like have to tell just play it and just you'll get it, because it's basically like half, you know, classic Japanese RPG and half like high school dating simulation.
Sure.
Like relationship simulator, I guess. It's not all dating, but it's just like that. I don't know, just the mixture of that, just the fantastic music, the fantastic overall style to the game. I mean, I described it to you earlier. It's stylish. Is all I could say about it. Just makes the characters very endearing to you over the, you know, the numerous hours that you're playing it, and the combat's really, you know, satisfying, and, you know, building those relationships also gives you stuff in the combat aspect of it, and it's a very, very well done RPG, which is something I always enjoy. But yeah, so I'm only 2 or 3 hours into that at the moment, so not much to say. But
of 100, is that about how long?
Most of the reviews said it took about 100. I think Persona 4 took me about 85. So
it's a lot of hours.
Yeah, and Persona 3 is still going. Well, I haven't picked that up in a long time.
Slight segue back into Zelda. MD Cost asks, what did you think of
the
armor sets?
I really liked that they had them.
What are armor sets for the uninitiated?
So because you know, you go to the different environments, you'll need heat-resistant armor, you'll need cold-resistant armor.
Okay, you told me about this.
Well, I mean, you can do that, or you can eat food to cover that stuff. But you can also there's a set that ups your attack. There's a set that ups your stealth. There's like kind of your best defense set in the game. And then if you've got, like me, and a crippling addiction to amiibos, you can get some of the classic Zelda costumes.
Oh God!
So I've been doing that a lot. But I like that because and you can kind of upgrade those as you go along. So if you find something you really like, you can really make it. You know, you can use that throughout most of the game if you really want to. So yeah, I think it's important to have that sort of stuff to find. You know, a lot of people, you know, want to have that classic Link look, but then I would say buy some amiibos if you can get that. But
so the amiibos actually make certain armor sets. Like certain armor sets are dependent on whether or not you've purchased those.
It's purely like you'll get it'll say like, oh, like, so the Ocarina of Time one, it says like, oh, Tunic of Time, and it just looks like it's the tunic, it's the hat.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. So like, there's Wind Waker, there's Twilight Princess, there's Ocarina of Time, and then there's you can actually get like the 8-bit like shorts and it look like the original Link. But yeah, so I think that was that was a good part of the game, because that was kind of one more thing that you could kind of go towards. And they actually let you dye. There's a dye shop in one of those villages that you could dye your armor, all these different colors. You dye one color, but you could choose from a number of different colors. So that
I would paint it black. Sorry, that song's been in my head.
Black was an option, yes.
Take all my armor sets and
yeah,
I would paint them black.
Let me know what your favorite armor set was. Glad about it.
Everybody in chat, what was your favorite armor set? I haven't played the game yet, but mine would be the winter one. Was there a winter one?
There was a winter one, yeah.
That would be mine.
All right. Solid. Okay, so like I said, one of our friends emailed us about this glass armor thing. You weren't just useless.
I saw you running around in glass armor from Oblivion.
Oh, okay, I get it. Gotta get in the gym.
But wasn't the Daedric armor just really satisfying to get?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of it. This is in Oblivion though.
I know.
I had my own house where I would
We know you've derailed the
put all
conversation.
my things from travels. It was like the coolest. It's like the most proud I've ever been in my life. It's literally just filled with
Your mementos from various quests.
awesome.
It's a good house. Sounds like a good house. How many houses could you buy in Oblivion?
One at each town. So I had like
So you had multiple, and then you would put certain mementos in each
no, I
one?
would
There was one.
main
key
house. Yeah, it was literally filled. It would glitch because I had so much stuff in there.
That's yeah. There you go.
It reminds me of a Penny Arcade comic where they talk about games like Oblivion are slowly turning them into hoarders, because he's like, well, why does your character carrying around 98 brooms? And he's like, man, I don't want to get to the broom dungeon and not have enough brooms, you know? What if I need these brooms later? And they drew a representation of what the character would actually look like carrying around, 98 brooms, and he just has brooms everywhere. I think, again, to continue this slide off of the main topics, but I think in games like Oblivion or whatever, it should try to visually represent whatever you're carrying. So if you want to carry 98 brooms and you have enough carry weight for that, it should try to show you just with brooms sticking out of it. I mean, part of carrying stuff is not just how heavy it is, but all the physical space it occupies. So,
although that encumbrance stuff always bummed me out.
I hate being encumbered in any game.
That was a good part about so Zelda limited like the sword, like the melee weapons, the bows, and like the shield inventory space, and you could upgrade that. But any materials, you could just carry as many. There was no limit on materials, which I think was a very important aspect of that, because you just pick up everything. So that was good.
Yeah, I think inventory management can be very tedious or very rewarding part of games, but it's very hard to do that well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that can definitely be a huge weight on a game's shoulders.
Have you ever picked up an item and you were like, I don't know, a tenth of a mile in game from some place where you could store things, but you picked up something and you were encumbered, and then you just kind of like, it lets you slowly move, so you just kind of like slowly walked that last 10th mile just angrily before you could drop stuff off. So I've done that before.
Then I'd have to go out and set a sheep on fire just to deal with the rage.
There's a period where I played not Oblivion, Morrowind, when I was really young, and I didn't understand the concept of being over encumbered, and I could never figure out why sometimes my guy would walk really slow. It took me a long time to figure that out. Like,
the
why the
innocence of
fuck?
youth.
Why don't it let me do anything?
This is so dumb when it just randomly gives you this.
Yeah, I thought it was like a sickness or something.
God, I'm sick again. Damn it. Every time I picked up too many brooms, I get broom sickness and I can't move.
I was like, quit characters. Like, make new ones.
It's like, well, this character got sick. I guess I gotta make a new one.
That's Oregon Trail's fault, I think. Probably is just thought that dysentery mechanic just kept going right through.
Well, we should play a game of Oregon Trail on stream.
There's many.
Like now.
Interesting wrinkle of Persona 5 here, and apparently Japan's complete lack of understanding about how the internet works. They're like saying, don't stream this game past you go through calendar days in Persona. So I'm like on April 10th or something like that. Like, oh,
Sure.
don't stream past July 7th. And if you do, we'll like put strikes on your channel and stuff. And it's like, do you guys not understand how the internet works now? Like the goodwill people, like people are only ever going to get a positive from watching your game being streamed. Like either one, they weren't going to get it anyway, and maybe they'll become interested enough to actually give it a try. Or two, like it helps build like that, community and engagement around your game,
which is valuable.
And it associates it with like the press release from like the U.S. arm of Atlas, which is who published the game, was definitely very clear on being like, this is Japan's fault. And so we'll see how long it takes them to finally convince them that it's a terrible idea. But like they're actively trying to like suppress people like sharing this game, which is mystifying.
Well, maybe that is a reverse kind of a one of these. There's no such thing as bad publicity. It's actually just a ploy. They were thinking, well, if we try to inhibit people from doing it, how will this will at least, people will start talking about that, right? So
I can understand people thinking that, but that's still
I'm sure it's an honest effort.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so one of our friends emailed us about this game, Unnamed Player Battlegrounds, and I have yet to suck myself away from these single player experiences to rejoin my friends. But you've given it a try, Valen.
I have.
So
I'm eager to talk about it.
Say, regale me with what this game is.
Well, I am going to describe to you exactly what Unnamed Players Battlegrounds is. Right after I give everyone an update, guys, Shia LaBeouf was kicked out of a Jerry's Deli in Studio, California.
Oh.
Apparently some sort of altercation with the bartender, and Shia was yelling, "I'm asking why you won't serve me French fries. I'm asking you about the French fries, and you want to hit me in the head with a Grey Goose bottle," which I love that quote. So I think we can all learn from this. I just want to dedicate the rest of this stream to our friend Shia.
That's why he's a star. The branding.
Right.
Constant brand awareness. I bet he gets a sponsorship the next day.
Right, exactly.
Brilliant.
It's just a true character actor. We're going to see in his next movie, I'm sure he plays some guy who can't get French fries, and he wanted to know what that mindset was like, to be deprived of French fries.
Exactly. Commitment.
Related to this, Battlegrounds is very much a game where you are constantly deprived of French fries, and I am yelling all the time, "Give me French fries, why won't you give me French fries?" So for those of you who have not played it or do not know what it is a 100-man free-for-all on an absolutely giant map. And then the way they force engagements, because you would be like, well, how does everyone kill each other? The way they force engagements is there's a randomly generated and shrinking circle that is placed somewhere on the map, and then a smaller randomly generated shrinking circle is placed within that until finally there's like very little space left. If you're outside of the playable area, you slowly take damage until you die.
Okay.
So eventually,
it's only big at the beginning, really.
It's only big at the beginning.
Is this a FPS or is it?
It's a third-person shooter, although you can, with a press of the keyboard, you can shift to first-person mode. So it's you have options in how you view the environment. I will switch back and forth like the true master that I am.
Of course, of course.
Anyway, I think it's very early access, so I would caution any of our thousands and thousands of listeners against buying it unless you are. It's $29.99 still. It's early access. I would caution you against buying it.
This isn't free?
This is not free.
Okay. Well,
Doc.
Never mind.
Well, Doc, the nice part for you, the nice part is now that we have 4 total games amongst 4 of us, we can only have a squad of 4 at any one time anyway.
Good.
So, like, we all just need to share our Steam libraries with each other.
Got it.
So we're set. For anyone outside of our core group,
okay,
just know that.
Is there any persistence through rounds, or can you you unlock upgrades or anything?
Clothing, but no, you don't get upgrades. Okay. The way the rounds work is you start on a plane that is flying over the map, and the path the plane takes is always different, always flying in from a different angle. Mm-hmm. Well, not always. It's randomly generated, so you can have the same angle or whatever. But
yeah.
And then you choose when to parachute out, and then it just goes from there. You try to scavenge for guns and armor and grenades and things like that, and then slowly, methodically, or not methodically, make your way to the playable area while killing people and try to be the last man alive.
Okay.
So and it's very.
Your team start in the same plane. You don't have to find each other and stuff.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, you have to find each other if you're not good about communicating when to jump out, or if you're not good at the parachute.
So most of the time, you have to find each other. Okay.
Yeah. Most of the time, you're doing a little bit of work there. Although we are getting much better at that.
Okay. What, $30 for early access?
It's it seems a little steep to me. Again, you don't have to worry because now that we have 4 games,
but just in general, it's a fair amount of dough.
It seems like it has an enormous amount of potential. There are definitely it's the big thing that the devs are working on right now are just overall performance issues, and definitely there can be times where the map takes longer to load than it would with like a polished game or something like that. Or they're going to do a lot more with sounds. Right now, it's really tough to hear somebody running up on you or opening doors or things that you think you should be able to hear.
Yeah.
The shooting isn't super refined, although it's pretty good. It's very much like Arma, if anyone has played that. I haven't, but I've read
that's
various
extremely realistic military. It's basically a military simulator, is what I would call it, because there's like buttons to crouch with different legs, and you have to
yes.
Basically, anything you think you might have to, every minute detail to survive, you have to do it.
And it's definitely not as complex as that. You have crouching, you have going prone. You also have things like bullet drop, and like when I talk about bullet drop, the physics of bullets in the game mimic real life physics, in that bullets, as they travel distances, will be affected by gravity. You have to lead your targets. Things like that.
It sounds like I would be awful at this.
Well, the nice part about it is you don't necessarily
patience.
Well,
patience.
Then yeah.
And then the bullet drop, that thing. Yeah.
And because this is a reward system for winning, there is, but as far as I can tell, all that you can buy
stuff basically, or.
Yeah, it's cosmetic stuff.
Okay.
Different clothes, things like that, and just enormous satisfaction. In a solo match, guys, I got to number 3 out of 100. I was the 3rd one, and I had a bead on what would have been, I think, the guy who ended up in 2nd, and I could have killed him, but I did not kill him, and he turned around and killed me. And then I was number 3, and I was not number 1, like I wanted to be. I don't think I would have ever had to play again if I had succeeded there.
Probably not.
My kill death in the game is about maybe 0.2 right now. It's very hard to get kills. But I have learned, because like you, I'm also not as patient as I would like to be. I have learned that the key is when you see somebody, 9 times out of 10, you don't want to immediately shoot at them. You just want to wait and see where they go. Try not to be seen, and try to get into a position where when they stop moving, you can just take them out.
How would have most of your deaths? Have you got it's like snipe? If you getting sniped a big aspect of it, or if you got like snuck up on from behind? Like, how would you describe most of your deaths?
Oh, that's a good. It's actually a kind of a mixed bag. The sniping in the game, because it's so tough. The times that I have been sniped, which is rare. Also, I mean, the map is absolutely gigantic.
Yeah.
And the sniping is it's very tough to do, especially over long distances. I mean, in the game, again, because there's bullet drop in leading your targets and realistic bullet physics, you also have to, for example, set, if you are lucky enough to pick up a scope. So here's another thing about it. You have to scavenge for all your weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So there are only going to be a certain number of people who actually get both a sniper type weapon and a scope to go along with it.
Oh, no.
Which is, I think, a good thing, because I wouldn't want to run around and just keep dying to snipers all the time.
Yeah, I'd say the balance seems like it could be interesting for that
kind
of game.
I agree, but for now it seems like they have done a pretty good job with it. I'd like to welcome Madamus.
What's up, everyone?
Unfortunately, it's a very pixelated view of your faces. But...
No, it's pixelated because that's the aesthetic we want.
Oh, got it. Retro.
You know, we're like, yeah, exactly, retro. We're trying to give people that feel of a nice early 90s, late 80s game. Just
that quality FMV.
But so the times that I've been sniped mostly are almost always we have been shooting or have noticed somebody, and then one of us stops moving, and then somebody, you know, most times when I get shot at, I rarely just get domed and I'm out of the game. It's usually I get to take a couple shots, and then I either panic and I don't go prone, or I go prone in a situation where I shouldn't because I'm at like the bottom of the valley, or I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things I could do differently and not die.
Are there any healing items in the game, or is it?
Yep, there are med kits and bandages and pain. There are various healing items. Okay. So you have a lot of different ways to deal with being shot. There are also vehicles, which is awesome. Loading up 4 people in a truck and just driving.
Can you run over people?
You can run over people. I have been run over.
How would you take out a vehicle? Is it like rocket launcher type weapon?
Oh no, you can shoot them pretty easily, which is nice.
They take a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's you're not really well protected in any of the vehicles, and you can shoot out their tires, and if you do enough damage, they'll just blow up.
Okay.
Vehicles are more like a blessing and a curse. Generally, you want to avoid them unless you're in a bad position where the map is shrinking and you've got to get inside the restricted area, because otherwise you'll die. So you're just kind of like making a mad dash to get inside that circle.
How much time would you how quickly is that health depletion?
So the first major restriction takes from the time the planes, it's like 5 minutes until the first, which is about then half the map. And from there, it's about half of that, and so on and so forth. So it's like 5 minutes, then like 3 minutes, then 3 minutes, then 2 minutes. So every game takes about, I think it's like 20 minutes if you somehow make it to, or much shorter if you don't make it to like the top 10 kind of thing.
Okay.
Which is nice. It's relatively fast paced, but you still are dealing with this cool, huge environment. You start to learn all of the different little towns and areas on the map, even though it is huge. But all of the item drops are randomly generated, so it's not like you can just keep going back to one area.
Got it.
And since most of the major there's a good balance. Like you can pick up any weapon at any place. Things like the military base in the game generally have more weapons centered in them, but if you want to risk it and go like just farm houses and try to stay away from people, you can be rewarded too if you get lucky and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Would you call this the least effort anyone has ever put into a video game title?
I think Unnamed Players Madness, what do you think as far as titles? The game is called Unnamed Players Battlegrounds, and we're saying whether or not the least effort anyone's ever put.
That feels like a Tiger Electronics game you would see at like a Toys R Us.
Yeah, worst title ever.
All right,
never playing the game just because the title.
Okay, Madness has never played. I think
it's like a similar game I've heard of that also is just as lazy. I think it's called like
what's it called?
League of something.
League of something.
Like
He's saying there's
like
another
Legends,
term.
like Legend League or something.
Legend
like
League.
that.
It's like, you know,
Like the most
what's that
generic piece of crap I could possibly
Yeah,
think of.
no, don't play that game. Not play any games like that.
Yeah.
called? LOL.
Just,
LOL.
you know,
LOL?
put a little effort into it, people. Come on.
No, not familiar. Does sound bad though.
What is the worst named game of all? We should come up with our list of 10 worst games, like in terms of name.
There were some shooters in like the mid 2000s that were just like, oh my goodness, you guys are just.
I personally dislike the games that are named as if an emo teenager named them. I mean, for example, I know this game, a lot of people love it, and I'm sure it's awesome, but I think Dark Souls is kind of a dumb name.
Yeah. Although, yeah, that game does take itself. I still feel like you need to play that. Is that?
You know what else is a game I really love, but I think is a super dumb name? The Witcher.
Mm.
Pretty dumb name.
He witches.
It's like he does not. He can't be. I get that they made up a word and they called it a Witcher. I think that's a terrible. Like, make up something cool at least.
Okay, I'm looking up worst video game titles. Beyond the Beyond. That's pretty bad.
Beyond the Beyond's pretty bad.
Tech Romancer.
Tech Romancer.
Uh-huh.
I like.
Okay, the Kingdom Hearts series is maybe the worst. Uh-huh.
In terms of names,
They make absolutely no sense.
like the storyline, or are you saying the names make no
The
sense?
names here, let me. And Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle. That's an awesome name. And they cost. I won't hear anything against that one. It is a mouthful though. Kingdom Hearts series. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we start off Kingdom Hearts. That's fine. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories also fine.
Yeah, that seems okay.
Kingdom Hearts 2, you know, we're doing fine. All right, now we're at Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days.
What?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying 358 over 2 days?
It's a 358/2 days.
Smell you later.
That doesn't. Okay. All right.
So then we go to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Okay, that's Japanese sounding. Kingdom Hearts Coded. Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance.
Dream Drop
I
Distance.
guess
That's
the
bad.
only 3Ds they could come up with. And I'm going to skip to like this one here that I enjoy. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
What? That's just words. It's just nonsense words. It's just randomly generated.
2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Now,
Sure.
you might
All
say
right.
to yourself, prologue and final don't really go together
Doesn't seem like they would.
super well. But, you know, that's how that goes.
I was hoping to find one just randomly on Steam, but I've
Yeah.
lost interest.
So, as a series, I think that might be the worst.
All right. We've answered that question once and for all. I think Wyatt Nova. He remembers. He remembers that your game finally came out.
Yeah, both of them. The ones I think on the first episode of this goddamn podcast, I think we talked about like E3 from 2015. I was like, oh, Zelda and Persona this year. That's all I'm hoping for.
I like that White Nova is still hashtag Team Doc.
I mean, when you go
Loyal.
through what we went through together as a team, to clear that turns out fairly simple Mario Maker level.
You know, I still have nightmares about that night, but especially after that, after the fact, I watched what a bunch of other people could clear and do in videos on YouTube.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that lessens what I consider to be our achievement because I was there with you.
Exactly.
And Junkblade was there, and White Nova, of course, was there. I don't think that lessens our achievement, but boy, the skill ceiling in that game.
People are good at that game.
Not to say you're not, just that maybe there's some people.
Oh, no, I'm not. It's fine.
But, you know.
But wow, what a great game that is.
That's a fantastic. That's
Say,
a,
so,
that's a great
say,
idea.
that's a game I keep meaning to dip back in. But yeah, so unless there's any other pressing questions from the chat, I'm probably gonna get back to Persona 5. Val, do you have any gaming
Again, I
plans?
just like a shout out for our good friend Shia LaBeouf. Apparently he had been drinking a bit at Pins next door. Pins, Pinz, the bowling chain.
Oh,
He'd
okay.
been pounding
Yep,
back
yep.
beers there for 3 hours. Then he couldn't get served fries, so I think it's completely understandable he had what's his call. The people are calling his meltdown. I just call that a very reasonable reaction to
That's
not
it.
being
Yeah,
served fries.
that's a what was this, Wednesday night?
I didn't actually. I'm just kind of reading random blurbs from the. I'm not
Classic
really.
Wednesday. Oh wait, no,
you know.
maybe you might have to join them in Battlegrounds once you got that PC up and going.
Oh, hey, White Novo. I would love to. We generally are in need of a third or fourth on our crew.
More squad mates always welcome.
As long as you're willing to die a lot and don't expect us to, we have some good moments. For example, we went to explore this little tiny island that we noticed far in the northeast, which is actually when you're loading the map, it actually puts you there. All 100 of you are on the loading screen for about a minute.
Okay.
And so we wanted to go see that in actual in-game. And so we got ourselves a boat, drove up there, and then miscalculated how much time we'd need to get back, and we died because the map shrank, and we weren't able to actually make it back in time.
Can you trash talk everybody else during this loading screen?
Yes, and people do.
Excellent.
They sure do. It's kind of I have muted non-party members' mics, so I don't have to hear any of it anymore because some might say the level of dialogue is.
Oh, what? In a video game?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Man.
I would say maybe slightly above Counter-Strike level.
And you can't even do that in Counter-Strike really anymore, can you?
No, they've really eliminated just through chat. It's weird because
maybe that's a good thing for us because we let's say we got distracted. Is how I would describe it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say half of the battle in Counter-Strike for Doc and I is dealing with
It's keeping us focused on actually playing Counter-Strike.
Right, because it's just as likely that our own teammates could distract us and anger us and make us kill them as the other team doing that to us.
And then our attempt to prove a point supersedes any.
Right. I do like to. I know a lot of times social justice warrior is thrown around as an insult, which I think is kind of funny. I get that a lot of people throw around, SJW, and that's like supposed to be a bad thing, but aren't all of those that's like a good group of words? Like together, don't you want to be that?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh yeah.
Don't you want to fight? Like, this man cares about equality.
Those people are not great at the insults. That's just how it goes.
That's true.
Like,
I also think it's even
Snowflake supposed to be
something?
Right.
Yeah, that's another one. It's like, oh, you think you're
Who doesn't
special?
Like snow?
Also, that snow's fantastic. Flakes can be okay if they're like gold flakes. You don't want dandruff flakes. Flakes are a mixed bag.
Yeah, but
Snow.
I saw a tweet that said every snowflake is unique, and you put enough of them together, they can cause an avalanche and just destroy everything. So,
That's good, actually.
So that's a way to think.
I like it. I do just love the idea of insulting someone like, oh, you think you're good at things and you're special. Nobody's special. Like that's kind of like the antithesis to like, oh wow, okay, well, it really sucks that person has self-confidence. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Oh well, we were all teenagers at some point, right?
That's true. But White Nova, no, Doc, we've talked about Zelda for the past 2 streams now, and he very much loves Zelda, and from everything he's told me, I think I would too. Although we, in an effort to make sure we've considered all possibilities and aren't just praising it for no reason, he mentioned some things he considered to be drawbacks, such as the main storyline not as robust or satisfying as previous Zeldas. But then we talked about how that's kind of an inevitable result.
Nothing that affected my overall enjoyment of the game.
Yeah. It's just an inevitable result of a massive open world game, you can't really make your main storyline super robust or reactive to what you do elsewhere in the game, because then you have to design all of these weird, like, again, you quickly come up against a possibility space that is astronomical in terms of how you choose to tackle the world. So,
Very good. Very good.
But my friend, I'm excited. Your new computer a shout out. That'll be an awesome thing to do for the summer.
Always
and you can
classic summer activity, building that new PC.
You can kick back with us and play some Battlegrounds or whatever the heck we're playing at the time. Probably still.
Rocket League.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you want to? We've been going for about an hour, White Nova, so I think we're going to wrap up. Speaking of which, Doc, do you want to play something?
Let us say we'll figure it out. I think we should probably play something.
All right. White Nova says check out Blackwake. Well, right before we sign off, I'm going to Google Blackwake, and if I can form an opinion in the 12 seconds in which Blackwake on Steam, it's got 4.5 stars, $20. Okay, I like that. I like everything I'm seeing. It's got a pirate flag. Enjoying that. It says please enter your birth date to continue, but it didn't give me a birth date that was automatically 18 years old like it normally does, and I like that. Oh, my friend, I have seen Blackwake, and it looks pretty tight. I was gonna wait until it's not. Check out. Did I show you Blackwake? I was gonna wait until it's not. I think it's still early access, right? I was gonna wait until it to see if other people wanted to get it, but I really like the idea of pirate ship battles. I mean, that's something that's really appealed to Animus and I for a long time. So I definitely think it could be a lot of fun. And the kind of hype promo video is very good too. Anyway, on that note, Blackwake, I give it a thumbs up for no reason. Who knows if it's good or not.
Multiplayer naval FPS, huh?
Check it out. Check out the little hype video here.
That guy just exploded. That's not.
Yeah, he sure did. I think it looks.
They're on fire. That's
like just fantastic. I like when the one ship rams the other ship. I don't know if you've gotten to that part yet.
I'll tell you, this is cannons are. Historically accurate.
Well, they in the I believe I was reading.
You think being a pirate's gonna be, yo ho, and this is maybe
an important reminder of perils of pirating.
Good things to think about.
A cautionary tale for any of you would-be pirates out there. I love all these videos where it's just people constantly getting blown away.
Good stuff.
Anyway, on that note. Oh, and by the way, yeah, White Nova, we also can't wait for you to PC, so keep us updated.
Peace out, everybody. We'll be back.
Yes.
With our next episode at some
probably next week, but if we could be consistent, reliable, if anything, we could tell you. But
way past episode 12. But
Nick Cage says goodbye, everyone.